if you have the vision and you're passionate about what it is that you want, you know what tools you need to achieve that. And you know what your own skill set is. So my skill set's always been brand and marketing and communications, PR, etc. I've just been able to do that well. Then it was like, okay, well, I need, I knew in my head this would be, at least about 150K build to kick it off, right?
Yeah.
Because this isn't just a website with a nice little, membership program in the back of it. This is something that's going to end up having algorithms that can, spit out information, and that's going to have, you needed somebody who really knew what. Exactly. And the verification and all that sort of stuff, which I was pretty certain about in the beginning. And so I ended up getting an agency on board, and I knew I was going to need to raise capital to be able to build the tech to kick it off. So I started the company with it being investor ready, which in and of itself is a whole other conversation and a very costly exercise.
Yes.
I can't believe how much money it actually costs to raise money.
Yes, people don't realize that.
No, it's just it's an oxymoron, really.
Yeah.
And then it was like I spent a year probably researching digital agencies and really digging deep into it. Ended up going with one that I now regret, just out of respect. I won't quote the name, but a Melbourne-based one. And what ended up happening, and I wasn't aware until after we left them, but they had been charging us, kind of Australian rates and then outsourcing.
Wow.
Elsewhere, but telling us that it was their team here in Australia. Now, I have no issue with outsourcing, and I actually have team who work for me in Pakistan. I'm half Indian. I love working with Indian people, and so I've got no issue with that. But it's like, don't tell me one thing and then do another, and then don't charge me for one thing and then you're pocketing a whole lot. And then in the process of that, the person that they put in charge to project manage was nowhere near mature enough or experienced enough to. And they later admitted that they put the wrong person in place there. Ended up putting us a year behind. Now, they said it would take 6 months. I gave it a year. They said 6 months. In my head, it was a year. But that meant that, the investment money that I'd raised, the story I told the shareholders, and it was just like, you have no idea what level of challenge that puts you under, and it's when it's completely out of your control, and you keep getting told one thing and it keeps getting stretched out, and this whole tech space. I mean, you and I were having this conversation about it the other day, and I said, I built a house before, right? My husband and I built a house, and at the time it was, I don't know, maybe 200,000. I think we already own the land, so it's about 200,000 to build this house. And at every stage of the house that was built, so the foundations, and then the engineering foundations, the framing, everything had to have an inspector to come along and inspect it, and mark it off and say, yes, this has been done correctly.
This is correct.
Why the heck do we not have that same kind of regulation around technology in Australia? I'm going to say this. We are going to yell this loud and proud, Danielle. Why do we not have that same level? Because you and I are not coders. We can't look underneath the bonnet and go, yeah, that's being coded correctly. And it's not until you leave that and then you get somebody else to look at it. And most of the fear around me actually leaving this agency was learning what I might discover. Not the problems that we're having, but just the fear of what we might discover.
I just couldn't agree with you more. And the idea of having some kind of regulation is bloody genius. Personally, over the 10 years of having Scrunch, I have lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I'm talking all levels. I've done agency outsourcing. I've done outsourcing. I've had in-house teams. Because I'm not a tech founder and I'm not a coder, actually learning to not have the wool pulled over your eyes is a long bloody journey. And, you're right. If we had some level of, okay, this is up to standard, then God, that'd help a lot of people in their journeys.
Yeah. And I would pay. If there was some insurance or something that you could pay on that would cover that cost, I'd pay it in a heartbeat.
I'd pay it too. Yeah. You think this is another business idea, isn't it?
Oh, probably. Yeah. You and I should probably do this. Start an insurance company for development.